Everybody, and welcome to the last Real Heels. I am your host. I am Anthony, sitting here with my buddies, Jose. Say hello, Jose.
Hello, I'm Jose.
Say hello, Nick.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
And we are, you may have heard our previous podcast where we have been discussing the goings-on post-draft era, the new era of the WWE. Well, today we're going to do a little bit of a format change. We're going to a little more discussion based and a little less blow for blow, and it's a good time to do it since we're coming post Summerslam and post Takeover, and it seems like it's a good time to change everything up. So let's
and mostly,
get right into it.
And mostly because I really don't want to talk about No Way fucking Jose. Like, I just don't care. I don't care about No Way Jose.
Jose, do you feel like he's bringing down your name?
Look, my fucking name's Jose, and this guy's attached to it, and I can't stand him. So I kind of wanted all scenarios to kill him.
No way. I don't believe it.
This is true. I don't want to talk about him. I don't want to talk about fucking CN.
To be fair, there's a lot of dudes with the name Jose, just saying.
Yeah. To be fair, I need to change my name.
Yeah. You have like the Joseph of Spanish names.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah, it's not fun. It's not fun. And the Shining Stars can get fucked too, so.
Wow.
But I'm Puerto Rican, and I don't really want to talk about Puerto Rico.
But you don't want to go travel to wonderful Puerto Rico?
I mean, it's really fucking hot.
The Shining Star of the Caribbean.
It's so hot. So we're not...
Guys, so I guess we can open the show up by how do we feel about this weekend of wonderful wrestling?
Well,
wonderful sports entertainment, I should
sports
say.
Entertainment, yes.
I don't think it's a stretch to say that SummerSlam was kind of a letdown in comparison to
the Takeover. Yeah,
the Takeover. I'd say Takeover definitely was the better show.
SummerSlam was necessarily bad, but coming off the heels of Takeover, it was definitely way out.
It definitely wasn't good. It definitely wasn't good. Like
it had high points.
Yeah.
It had fucking really low points. It had very confusing points.
Yeah.
It was a mixture of a lot of things, but it doesn't mean
4 out of 10.
4 out of 10.
4 out of 10.
Doesn't I would give it 6. I would give it a little bit, but I will admit to this. In the last, I think it was the last 3 matches, you had the tag match in NXT, you had the world title match and the women. The last 3 matches on Takeover trumped anything else that happened the rest of the weekend.
Plus the pot for the GTS and the pot for Bobby Roode and singing his theme.
And Nick, I believe this man across from me, Nick Gaskins, pointed out that the tag match was the dark horse. It indeed fucking was. That match got a ridiculous amount of fucking reaction.
It wasn't the dark horse for me because I knew it was going to be the best match on the card.
I knew it was going to be really good.
Phenomenal.
I didn't think it was going to be the best match on the card. I knew it was going to be good, but yeah.
It got a pretty good reaction. Like, I, as a wrestling fan, and I've been watching wrestling for quite a while, not too long, but a good amount of time of my life.
Long enough to understand it.
And I wanted to, like, beat the shit out of these guys for the way that they won this match. I'm not going to lie. So it popped me. If I get a genuine reaction, it wins for me.
I guess while we're on the subject of the tag match, I guess we'll talk about that first. So, is it safe to say that the Revival is the best tag team in the industry right now?
They're definitely the real deal. If there was any doubt, that pretty much put it to bed.
The one gripe I have about this match is the finish.
Yeah.
And I only say that because when they had Johnny Gargano and the submission or whatever, he was too close to the ropes.
He could have.
It was unbelievable to me that he would just tap and he wouldn't grab it.
He could have broke that. He could have broke that if he wanted to.
I think it's a relatively minor. I think it was a really good match. The Revival are phenomenal heels. They work
great.
a really smart, good heel.
Yeah.
And they're one of my favorite things about wrestling at the moment. But that's the one negative I have to say on an otherwise stellar match.
I'm glad that Gargano and Ciampa, I'm glad that they stayed together after that. You know, that there was grounds there for them to have one of those weird, you know, like, oh, you cost us the titles type of moment, and like turn on each other. But that didn't happen. You know, they kept it. The friendship is still there. And
I feel like that would be too forced, especially coming off the CWC, if they were like able to battle it out like that and still be cool.
He was the dude's best man, for Christ's sake, right? Like at his wedding and all that. So.
Well, and who will be at their wedding?
Yeah.
Speaking of Johnny Gargano's weddings, when the fuck is WWE gonna sign Candice LeRae? It needs to happen.
Man.
Yes,
that would be fantastic, dude.
Yeah.
She would take off immediately.
If they really want to like kickstart this new women's wrestling era on both brands, they need Candice LeRae.
They kind of have no choice, like at the moment, but to get really good women wrestlers. They have no choice now because they've set the standard for like broads that could actually wrestle. Like they're not divas. They're like
the women's wrestling in WWE is legitimate now. It's not a piss break anymore.
Yeah, and
except if you're on SmackDown.
And you know they've actually been
still
scouting for it now, and that's cool. They're scouting actual talent from like Shimmer and other promotions and stuff.
And even still with SmackDown, like even though it's definitely not as good as Raw,
no,
it's not what it used to be.
No,
this isn't your mama's Divas division.
I will give one credit to the SmackDown Divas division. There's definitely a lot more personalities. I'm not to say that there's no personality, but there's also talent on Raw.
Yeah,
the girls on SmackDown, like they have personality. I love
Alexa,
Eva Marie.
Yeah,
I think we all
sorry.
love
I really like the Eva Marie gimmick.
Absolutely.
The Eva Marie gimmick is over with me. So like, I can't put it down. Carmella could fucking go away, please.
Let's not be too quick to judge too. Like, let's give it a little bit of room to.
I feel like without Sasha,
feel the breeze.
Even kind of with Sasha, like Raw doesn't have as much depth at the women's division level. I feel like okay, they have 3 out of the 4 horsewomen. And not much else.
That's true.
Well, they got Bayley now to cover for Sasha while she's out in her injury.
Dana.
They've got Dana Brooke.
Dana's kind of a package deal with Charlotte, though. Like, I mean, they've been featured a little more, but still, she's still Charlotte's manager. You know, she's still coming out with her and stuff.
Who else is on Raw besides?
That's what I'm saying. Alicia Fox, and like that's it.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. There's not a lot of right. There's not a lot of depth at the position, but because they have bigger names, it appears that way.
Yeah.
But SmackDown's got 7 ladies now. After Nikki, right?
6 because even
but on roster.
Yeah, you're right.
One roster, yeah. So
Nikki, Carmella,
Natty, Becky, Alexa Bliss, Naomi.
And 6 girls.
Yeah.
And Eva Marie.
And then Eva Marie.
Eternally beguiling.
Yes. So that's seven women. And yeah, like Raw has like
Nia Jax is on Raw too. If you have a Nia Jax,
yeah.
Oh, great.
True. But still, like, there's still not. I don't know. It just doesn't. Maybe there's not being utilized as much, or I don't know. It feels like SmackDown's featuring them more, but Raw has the bigger draw because like the title and all that. But I mean, all that's changed anyway now. So we'll give it time and see how it pans out. Now that they have, a belt to fight for on SmackDown and stuff, so
NXT's got to like rebuild their women's division and
in a big way.
Ember Moon, one wonderful finisher.
So is Ember Moon the new Sasha Banks?
Not yet. She hasn't proved herself, but
she definitely has the potential.
The way I've only seen one match. I've heard about her on the Indies as Athena. I've seen like little clips of her and stuff, but I can't say that I'm familiar with her work. But just watching in that one match, the way she works, how she didn't look scared on the big stage, I think she's a real deal.
She looked very comfortable.
Yeah.
She did.
She did a promo with Bayley on this week's NXT.
Yeah.
Well, it was an interview segment or whatever backstage after Takeover. I feel like they're really gonna set her up to be.
Well, they kind of have to because without Bayley, they need like a main face.
Yeah.
You know, not that Asuka's necessarily.
Yeah, Asuka's not really heel.
She's not really heel.
Yeah.
She's kind of tweening still, but
I wouldn't even say a tweener. It's just she's just a monster competitor. She doesn't do anything that's really heel worthy. So
yeah, I mean, she beats chicks up, and she's got the whole unstoppable. That doesn't make you a heel. But it's easy to position an underdog kind of thing against that, and that automatically gives you kind of face cred because you're the more relatable and easier to root for competitor. So. But yeah, they need to fill that gap because there's no Bayley there, so they need somebody to step up and be that opponent, So that's a good fit. It's a good fit for Miss Moon.
I really like her, and I really hope that they start using. And I know they've been trying to, but start using the other women more, like a Peyton Royce and a Billie Kay.
Yeah, Billie Kay's doing good. Yeah. I mean, she was on SmackDown and stuff. Yeah. So,
and I mean, her match, on her end of the match was pretty solid too.
She put on a strong match and.
Hopefully we'll see some of the younger women too really develop, like the Liv Morgans and the Mandy Roses and the Daria.
Deonna Purrazzo's.
Well, Deonna Purrazzo's, she's got indie cred. Yeah. I want to see more Tessa Blanchard and Santana Garrett if they can get them signed or get them working more on the shows.
A little more Nikki Glencross.
Nikki Glencross.
What's the matter?
No. I'm sorry. The paler Becky Lynch. No,
You've seen her work one match.
She's got spunk, man. Yeah. She's got energy.
She's got so much spunk, yeah. But
let's start seeing more of these women with indie credibility that are known for being good wrestlers. Let's see more Crazy Mary Dobson and
Mandy Rose.
Yeah.
You mean the non-indie wrestlers? What I was not talking about. I mean, she's under contract too. Let's see her live more.
You gotta push the pure product too.
You gotta see. Like I said, I want to see them develop too, but want to maybe see them bring in some of these more lesser known indie women, and maybe if they can try to lure Cherry Bomb and Allison Kay away from TNA and
Cherry Bomb
and
Cherry Bomb wasn't she? She was on. Is that this? I'm probably thinking of somebody else. Cherry Bomb, the chick that was with Dyson Domino, or is that a whole different chick? I don't know. Maybe I'm lost. Maybe I'm completely lost.
I don't think she was. No.
Her name was Cherry.
Yeah. No, I don't.
This is a whole different girl.
No.
Hell, I wouldn't mind seeing Velvet Sky. Make her way over.
I read a rumor that Velvet Sky would be coming.
I heard that too.
I assumed because she's dating Bubba Ray in real life, Mark LaMonaco.
Yeah, right around the time that he showed up last year,
there were rumors going around, but I haven't heard anything else besides that. But
I would love to see her come over though.
Yeah,
good worker, great personality.
Yeah. But so that's the women's division. That's our thoughts on that. We never really finished our whole talking about the revival and that Gargano kind of segued really quick into the women's.
Do you think that they're going to remain a tag team?
Gargano and Ciampa?
Yeah, coming out of this.
Yeah, they have the shirts.
I know, they do.
I don't know.
But they could easily...
They're solid single guys.
They are solid single guys, and they could easily break them up if they wanted to. Let's face it, they just got a tag name, right? The DIY thing, that's their...
Yeah. I think they're going to run with that.
Yeah.
I mean...
Maybe.
Generally, tag teams where the name is, the guy's names, that's the name of the team.
Yeah. They get something eventually.
They end up getting split up because they're singles guys, but... I mean, they could really go either way with it. They're both pretty strong guys on their own, but where do they go from here? They had their shot, and So I mean, what do you do? Do you get back in line for the tag division, or
are they gonna maybe do they start pushing the Office of Pain in that direction?
God, please.
There's honestly not a whole lot of tag stuff going on. At least not as much as there was.
Because it's really just Gargano and Ciampa and the Revival, and then the Office of Pain and TM61.
Yeah.
Authors of fucking Pain. I'm sorry, that's the dumbest fucking name I've ever heard.
It is a pretty terrible name.
Authors of Pain. What book are they writing? Because I don't want to read
it. The book on pain, bro.
I don't want to read it. Are they? Are they doctors? Do they understand pain better than we do? Fuck them. Why, Paul? Why?
But yeah, they gotta figure out a good way for the Revival to have a good feud. Eventually lose those belts because they got to get the call up too.
Yeah,
it's in my opinion they're the best tag team in the industry, not even in the company, in the industry at the moment.
Yeah, but I don't think they'd call him up right away.
American Alpha's still pretty sweet.
I love American Alpha, but I love the Revival just that much more.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's just like, I was just really, really enamored with how smart they work as a heel team and just like how dirty
they do have
and gritty they are.
Really good ring awareness and everything. And
and I would really like to see them feud with American Alpha on the main roster. I really hope they go to SmackDown because we all know that American Alpha's winning that tag tournament on SmackDown.
Oh, but of course.
Yeah.
But of course.
The Revival is very good at doing something that yours truly appreciates, and that's bringing back like old Texas like tag team wrestling, where it was about heat. That's
the first thing I thought was these guys are as old school as it gets right now.
Yeah, they brought back the mentality that like you could have really sweet moves and all these great spots, but one thing you need to be good at is pissing people off. Yeah. And they could piss people off.
Yeah, man. No flips.
Just that's it. I mean, they're.
So,
You want to talk about Arn and Ole Anderson? I mean, that's kind of like what they're trying to do here. So, like old school Texas.
They're great heels. They're great heels in the ring. They're great heels on the mic. I don't think that there's anyone better right now in tag team wrestling.
I'll give you that.
Yeah,
I'll give you that.
They've brought back the old formula.
Yeah.
So I mean, and
it works.
It's refreshing. It's nice to see. It's when a lot of tag team guys are just like are just high spots and
I like
looking at you, Young Bucks.
Wow. Hey,
I mean, don't get me wrong.
Don't call out my boys. All right?
Don't get me wrong. I love the Young Bucks. I'm as big a Young Buck mark as the rest of us out there, but it's all about the Revival right now. But that was one of the major parts of Takeover. How did we feel about the women's match? How did we feel about Asuka retaining?
And I really thought that Bayley was going to take it, but now that it's like panned out, like it makes a lot more sense the way that they did it. But I really did for a minute there think that Bayley was going to become two-time, and then they were going to have the rematch and have her call up be a little later on in the year after the rubber match where Asuka beats her, and et cetera, et cetera.
I said this to you before. If they were going to do that, which I don't think would have been a bad way to go, but if they were going to do that, they would have had to have done this earlier, because you wouldn't want to waste the rubber match, which would have been a huge match. You wouldn't have wanted to waste that on some other takeover. You wanted to have that on Takeover Brooklyn.
That makes sense. Yeah. And I mean, this was my prediction was also before the advent of Ember Moon, so I didn't think that she would be as sweet as she was. So I figured Bayley leaving and everything would leave the NXT Women's Division kind of bereft. Which it has in a sense, but I mean, at least they have somebody to take the mantle up.
And I mean, like I said before, I hadn't seen a lot of Ember Moon really, but I knew the hype. I had heard a lot of people for the last couple of years talk a lot of good things about her. So I knew that she was coming. I knew that was going to be in the works. That she was going to be probably working her way into eventually being a major player in the women's division.
And they're gonna need to fish for wrestlers, because I know I mean, when Nikki Bella came back, I popped pretty hard.
Yeah, we all did.
But Nikki falls into the category of Carmella, where it's just a gimmick, and I mean, not gonna discredit Nikki Bella as a wrestler, because she does have something that not a lot of women have, and that's a fucking forearm that's supposed to knock you the fuck out. So that's new, that's different. But wrestling and technique wise, the divas, the remaining divas, they're eventually gonna shove them to the side at some point.
Even still, they're better than what the divas were before. Nikki was top of the divas.
If you want to go back to 2010, the best wrestling diva that you had was Natalya. Natalia's been the consistently only diva that was there.
Well, I'm not talking about Natalya. Natalya's a good technical word. I'm talking about the divas that everyone hates, the model that are just for show.
The models.
Nikki was probably the best of those wrestlers.
And let's not forget about Nikki on the mic, because remember that whole thing with her and Brie going back and forth, and they turned on each other and everything. Yeah. She did some really good mic work back there. she can cut some promos, dude. Like she got pretty emotional and whatnot, like in the ring there. So
the best thing that WWE did, and I think that the whole, and no one, I mean, it was mentioned on the actual WWE 24 episode, but this has never like been brought to the forefront more than it should be. But Sarah Del Rey is literally the catalyst behind all of this.
You mean Sarah Amato? And
Ray Gunn, Sarah Del Rey.
Yeah. And you can even throw in Sarah Stock, aka Sarita.
Sarita, that's
she's
right.
involved in that too.
So Sarita and Sarah Del Rey literally like changed this entire like they were featured on the show for like a split second, you know, saying something. Yeah, these girls are really working hard, but no one ever says that these women deserve a lot of the credit for like making these women like work towards a goal, like work towards a storyline.
I think that's been a really big part of a really big catalyst in the change in the way that WWE wrestling has been, women's wrestling and in the men's as well, is they've been letting their developmental be run by wrestling people.
Yeah.
Like you've got Sarah Del Rey or Sarah Amato, you've got Sarah Stock, and the men you've got Albert, Matt Bloom, you've got Adam Pearce. Those are guys that are really Robbie Brookside, like real like wrestling guys calling the shots and training these guys and making these guys real wrestlers.
Yeah,
and
Triple H. I mean, everyone kind of was talking shit about Triple H running NXT, and they thought that it was going to be a failure, this and that. And then I really got to like. I watched I think his documentary, and he like was talking about what his vision for NXT was. It was his last documentary that he came out with. And he mentioned that he wants to portray NXT the same way that what he went through back in the day. Like what everyone kind of likes to talk about, he wants to bring that to the fore. And he could do whatever he wants with NXT because it's on the WWE network. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And Paul is doing a fantastic job.
He's doing really good because he's just like a lot of us. Well, for me at least too, like.
He's one of the
wrestling.
boys. He's one of the boys. He came up in that era. He came up with the tail end. He came up with the tail end of the territory era.
He knows what people want to see. He knows when people want to see real wrestling, and that's kind of like something that WWE lost a while ago, was the storytelling aspect of the product.
If you're going to run a wrestling company, you need to let your wrestling people be in charge.
Yeah,
is what I think.
Agreed.
That's true, and you can't let politics get in the way, and it's gotten in the way quite a bit. Like
there'll always be politics in wrestling.
No. I mean literally politics.
Oh, you're talking about Linda McMahon.
Yes, her campaign single-handedly
both of her
took that shit down so far down that like, and a lot of people. I mean, this is this topic of discussion for a whole nother day. But the whole should blood even be a part of wrestling? Is it going to it enhances a storyline that's worth enhancing. If you're talking ECW, it's bullshit. Like, I'm sorry, I don't give a fuck about ECW. I never did.
For me, blood, like, and this leads to something I want to get into later, but I guess since we're on the subject now, the finish of the Orton Lesnar match.
We'll save that for last.
Okay,
I think we'll save that for last.
Okay, that's the blood, and I wanted to get into it's even stuff I've thought about before the Orton Lesnar match about blood in wrestling.
Yeah,
but, all right. Well,
I brought it up, but that's a massive conversation. We'll give you guys a real main event.
Yeah.
Other than that fucking match at the.
We'll put that on the back burner.
Yeah.
But we got a little off topic on the women.
Yeah,
we got in the NXT Women's Division. But so yeah, I think. The NXT Women's Division is a work in progress, but I think it's in good hands. And I mean, it is developmental, so it's not like you're gonna have ready-made superstars right up the.
It's starting to blur the line a little bit because on the one hand, it is developmental.
The lines blurred a long time ago.
Yeah, but there's so many vets now, and there's so much time being spent pushing those guys as opposed to pushing the homegrown talent. And I think that's kind of an issue right now, you know?
Yeah.
Because let's say I'm one of the power plant guys in the back that's like waiting to get pushed and
power plant guys.
Yeah. fresh out of the program. I have my little WWE jacket on, and I'm just waiting.
Property of WWE Performance Center.
Tap out, buddy.
Yeah, I've got my Performance Center shit on, and I'm just waiting for my moment. And meanwhile, like, you have guys like a couple years ago, like Rhino came back, and like you have these like aging vets coming in, and it's like, all right, these are known guys, but they're getting more ring time than I am.
you also like
how does that make me feel? You know,
you got to use some of those guys to kind of enhance.
Yeah, those guys should be putting younger talent over, and Rhino did that, and that was fine. But I mean,
Rhino didn't stick around for a long time. He was there to do his job,
and that's fine. When you got guys like Austin Aries and like other dudes coming in to kind of restart their careers and stuff, and Samoa Joe.
Yeah. I think what Triple H is trying to do, and I don't know this man personally, so I have no idea what his mindset is. But this is just my opinion.
Are you telling me you don't know Paul Levesque in person?
No, I do not know Paul Levesque in real life and for real life. But I'm assuming that this what you're talking about, this aging vet, because it's true. I mean, you got Austin Aries, Samoa Joe, Shinsuke Nakamura,
and these are all the top.
Even
guys.
Ty Dillinger, not young.
Bobby Roode. These are all the top guys right now.
But like, here's the difference between guys like Rhino and guys like those guys. Guys like Bobby Roode and Austin Aries and Samoa Joe and Nakamura and guys like that. Those are guys that they want to make major players in the brand of NXT and hopefully into WWE. So, and you have to initiate them to the WWE fan base. And not that nobody knows who they are, because obviously a lot of people do, especially the TNA guys.
Yeah, huge fan base.
There is a part of the fan base, especially on the main roster, that doesn't know who these guys are. So you have to introduce them. You have to give them a story. You have to give them a bit of a history in the credibility in the company. And as opposed to a guy like Rhino, who's just like, he's a blast from the past. He's coming to help a guy. He's coming to help
I only mentioned Rhino because he was like the first one to really like come in.
Yeah.
That was an older guy that's well known and do his whole thing.
Yeah.
It's just, I feel like at some point you're gonna have to make a decision. Like make this developmental or make this its own brand.
Yeah.
Like, because you can't really do both effectively.
It would be nice if they had a little more time to work with. And they tried to do a little bit of both and work some of their either lesser known indie guys in that they've signed or like guys that they've really grown on their own, like No Way Jose.
No Way Jose is a good example of them actually utilizing the homebrewed guys and giving them a push,
Yeah. And giving them an awful name, but go on.
But I mean, like, it's not like they don't exist, that these homegrown guys.
I know,
like
but
Tyler Breeze.
Yeah. And when you have like Austin Aries go over though. Like, that's not good for No Way Jose.
Yeah, but Austin Aries is your star.
Yeah.
You kind of have to feed into his...
Yeah, but this is also a developmental brand. So, like, you gotta, like, that's what I'm saying. There's that dichotomy.
Here's what I... NXT, for these guys, it's not going to last long.
What do you mean?
Are you talking like for Aries and Rude?
Yeah, these guys are not going to be there for a while.
They're one shot.
On average, these guys are coming in for like 3-4 months, and then they're getting bumped
they if anything, not 3-4 months. That's kind of quick, but like,
I mean, like your Kevs. And stuff like that.
Short run. I'm sure like the bigger names will have that short run.
Basically, NXT at the moment, I think. What it's being utilized as, with the exception of the Bullet Club when they first came in, because they went straight to the main roster, is a way for the American crowd to really see these guys in action, absorb what they can do, understand their past, and then when they get called up, it's like, well, this guy was an NXT champion, go check him out on the WWE network, blah, 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 blah. Basically, they're giving a background for these guys, so when they do launch them, they don't have to worry about it.
So they don't have to reference like 12 years of TNA, like AJ Styles, They
don't have to whip up go to the archives and like say, so here's every G1 climax that Shinsuke Nakamura's ever been in. I mean, you could either like pay for the New Japan Network or just watch him on NXT. It's either your choice. Like, it's all about research and getting to know. Like, you can't just throw Shinsuke Nakamura on Raw and just go, hey guys, root for him. Like, that's not going to work because a lot of people in, let's say, Texas are going to go, who the fuck is this guy?
I suppose. I mean,
it's a launching pad. Yeah. It's not meant to be another Triple H. I think Triple H gets it. I think because he's more pissed off than anyone. He would love to keep all of these guys on NXT.
And the rumor going around is that like he's trying to kind of lowball some of like the older guys out of the WWE so he can make room for the NXT guys.
And I think what Triple H, because I think this driving force is being run by him, is essentially he probably sat down with Vince and said, dude, we are sucking right now. We don't have talent. We have people that are like just lying around. They don't know what they're doing. And not only that, but if you had Ryback, you had to make a decision between either getting rid of Ryback and telling Ryan Reeves to fucking kick rocks, or getting Shinsuke Nakamura. Who would you choose? Who's a better worker? Nakamura, obviously. So you have to find a way to weed these guys out.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate because a lot of these guys are busting their ass left and right.
Sadly, you only have so many spots in a company, and it sucks for the guys that end up getting weeded out and get their time cut. But if you don't live up to the hype, if you don't provide any hype, nothing we can do for it. Do what Cody Rhodes did, or what some of these other guys do. Go on the indies. Go make a name for yourself, like a Kurt Hawkins, like a John Morrison.
Learn.
Like an EC3. Go make a name for yourself somewhere else.
I'm not really talking about older guys getting pushed out, though. I'm talking about newer guys getting pushed up. Specifically the homegrown talent. Like, if you're pulling in all these guys from, ROH and TNA and other stuff, and you have guys that are your own guys, and this is a developmental product, and it's designed... I mean, this is supposed to be FCW, right? This is the next thing. This is a developmental branch that's supposed to produce WWE talent. But what it's evolved into is a vehicle for already established indie guys, and indie in quotes, because TNA is not so much indie, but it's become a vehicle for these guys to break into the dub, which is fine.
I mean, to argue that, that is kind of helping the WWE out, because you are breaking in guys.
I'm not saying
to
it's not helping out the dub. I'm just saying, for the little guys for the dubs, the guys that are coming through the dubs program from the jump, it's not good for them, because it's taking away from... I can see if all these guys are putting these younger guys over, but they're not. They're squashing these guys, and they're going over these guys to showcase what most of the fan base already knows, who they are and what they do.
Most of the NXT fan base.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying, it's a pretty smarky crowd over there in Florida, all right, and a lot of these TNA
those NXT fans travel well. If you just listen to the how different the crowd from SummerSlam to Takeover was, they're both in Brooklyn, New York. But the takeover crowd is so much
I'm not saying. I'm just saying it's based in Florida.
Yeah.
It's just. I feel like it would if I was one of those guys. If I was one of those pure product homegrown guys, I would feel a little left out in the cold by all of the attention and spotlight that's being given to these veteran, more established dudes. And I understand the mindset. I understand that it is, at the end of the day, best for business.
Yeah.
But on the other end of it, it's well, when am I going to get my push? Instead of having me come out and job out to Bobby Roode or something, if I was CN or somebody, or CN's from. Yeah, CN's from outside the company too. But if I was a smaller guy trying to move up, I'd feel a little left out. And at the end of the day, they're going to make a decision. Develop be your own branch or be a developmental thing. It's going to be hard to do both.
Hey, I hear you on that, but we're a little pressed on time, so I think we'll move on. We'll maybe hit on this on another show. We have a little
to end this discussion though, real quick before we move on. Triple H saw the indies creeping up on him.
Yeah,
the indies were creeping up,
it's
and you don't want to let it happen like WCW, so you might as well grab these guys where you can.
Grab it by the balls.
Yeah. That's very well said. Very well said. But to the last match on the card, the Nakamura Joe match. How we feel about Nakamura going over? First of all, how do we feel about that intro for Nakamura? That's the violinist.
The real violinist. First of all, that was Nakamura's longest intro.
Yeah.
Super long. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I'm very happy that they had. I want to know who that violinist was, by the way.
I thought it was Rich Swann.
It's not Rich Swann.
I could have swore it was Rich Swann.
It'd be sick if it was.
I mean, if you know anything about Rich Swann is very musically talented. I don't know if he plays the violin or not. I know he plays the guitar, but he's very musically talented, so it could have been, but it wasn't Rich Swann.
I thought it was the guy from Yellow Card.
I'm pretty sure the guy from Yellow Card is a white guy.
I know.
But yeah. That was a really cool entrance. The crowd was really into it. Some people think it might have went on too long. I don't. I love the NXT crowd. I don't care if they try to get themselves over. I think it's part of the program.
Absolutely.
Same thing like PWG. I think the crowd is part of what makes the show exciting. But that's all I'm going to talk about on that.
Yeah.
The
chants are definitely part of the draw.
Yeah, it's part of what makes the show fun to watch. But how do we feel about the match? How do we feel about Nakamura? ending Joe's reign,
breaking his fucking jaw,
which might have happened IRL.
I mean, I think it really did. I think he really did.
The ref was throwing up the X, and I think that's usually the sign for legit injury.
I was wondering how it was going to go because they have two like such different styles.
Yeah.
You know, I was wondering how they'd be able to trade. They actually sequence really well together.
Yeah.
Like a lot of really nice transitions. Joe pulled out some of the best submission stuff that I've seen from him.
I mean, I don't know why we'd expect anything different. These were like some really world class, world class workers.
They did a really good job, like mixing it up together. Because I mean, how often have these guys wrestled each other? You know,
I would venture to say they probably met at least.
I'm sure they've met up before, but I'm sure it hasn't been in a long time.
I believe they both trained in the Inoki Dojo in LA.
Yeah.
I believe that happened, so they might have crossed paths. And I mean, but these guys have at least 30 years of experience combined, so...
And
according to the interview, he trained in Samoa Joe's dojo.
Yeah. It was the Inoki Dojo.
Yeah. He's like, oh, your dojo. Yeah, my dojo.
And it was a clash of strong style.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're both really, like...
hard hitters.
Yeah.
And you didn't expect anything less than Joe getting his fucking jaw broken.
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't...
it was a really good match, really hard hitting. I enjoyed every second of it. I knew Nakamura was going over because you wouldn't have him send your two big baby faces off. They're two like pillars of the company.
Yeah.
Have him beat them and then lose.
It's like in order for you to leave NXT, you have to get jumped out by Nakamura. Yeah. That's the gateway.
And Nakamura's had so much hype behind him and like so much crowd support. Like I think it was the only direction they could go.
Yeah.
And I think job well done on the whole show in general.
Yeah.
Like, even the opening matches on the card with Ember Moon and Billie Kay was a good women's match. Introducing Bobby Roode and the crowd singing his theme was fantastic.
Absolutely. Yeah. What we could say was glorious.
It was.
They sang all of it.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna be that guy. Go ahead. And I will burst the bubble about. I love Bobby Roode. Me and Anthony. Well, I don't know about Nick for sure. Were you watching TNA 2011?
I love Bobby Roode since he was Robert Roode.
Okay,
he was slapping
all right.
Tracy Brooks in the
never
face.
Never mind. So you don't understand his great title run in 2011 and 2012.
No, I saw it. I'm just saying, Robert Roode when he had long hair, fantastic.
All right, but the glorious bomb, not very glorious.
Yeah,
not digging it.
Left a little to be desired, but I mean, overall, I wouldn't really like knock Bobby Roode down much because of it.
No, but
it was a very anticlimactic finish. Yeah. Nobody really expected him to pin him with that.
Kind of shocked everyone. So.
Yeah.
Going forward, do you think that Roode might be Nakamura's next? One of the next guys?
Probably.
Honestly, like NXT needs a lot of everything, and there's not a whole lot of singles competition in there.
Well, I mean, you might have. You're probably gonna have a Joe Nakamura rematch, so that'll happen. And then that might even lead to Bobby Roode coming in later, and then you'll have a Tommy and Aries. So that's
like you need a strong heel.
Yeah.
You need a strong heel. It's not Samoa Joe to eventually like take on Nakamura.
Yeah.
So
I think Bobby Roode will be the next guy after
logical.
Joe. Yeah. So I mean, there's some stuff happening. We just have to wait and let it see how it develops. I'm hopeful for how it goes, but spent a lot of time talking on NXT. That's how
it's a big topic. It's
how important all this stuff is.
It's more relevant than the main product at the moment.
Let's roll into SummerSlam and the fallout after that.
Oh boy!
Like don't want to talk about everything here, but. Like how do we feel about the longest reigning Universal Champion Finn Balor having to
First of all, before we get to the Universal title, I'm gonna put it out there. It's gonna piss off a lot of people, but fuck Enzo Amore. I don't care for him as a worker. I don't care for him as a worker. So I'm sorry. I'm not buying the gimmick.
He's still kind of green, but give him time.
Fuck him.
He's not like a crazy move guy. Him and Castle is more the big guy wrestler that Vince likes. What a wrestler should look like.
And they're the mouthpiece, you know?
They're more the fun crowd gimmick.
Yeah.
I like them. Not everybody has to be like not everybody can be Zack Sabre Jr.
I just wish Enzo would botch a little.
What a world.
That's all. Like,
all right.
Again, he's still green.
He wears Jordans, man. What do you want from him?
This is something I want to get into. We're going to probably run a little longer than we want to, but since you mentioned botching, how I feel about botching. It sucks to see people can get hurt because of it. But we're so quick to jump down these guys' throats. These guys are working 5, 6, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
And they're working 300 plus days a year. For them to do the job, a very fast moving live performance art, for them to not mess up once in a while, it's hard to expect out of them for all the crazy stuff that happens.
That's fine. Once in a while, it's fine. But when you find yourself botching consistently and it becomes a thing that people are talking about, it's noticeable.
I've never heard anyone talk about Enzo botching, or saw anything that was really egregious.
I'm just saying in general.
And I think if you really nitpick anyone, you can pick out anyone. You can pick out everybody botches something.
You can't just be an apologist for botching in general just because everybody does it every now and then. If someone botches a bunch, especially a bunch in a row, then it's okay, what's going on. And I'm not saying that Enzo botches a lot. I'm just saying that recently in pay-per-views, stuff's been happening to Enzo, around Enzo, and it's what
happened in SummerSlam?
That whole thing when they tossed him over and then Kaz followed the ring and all that, and he almost caught his foot on the rope. I'm just saying he's not. I'm not saying
that wasn't Enzo.
It's not, but
Kaz.
That was Kaz's momentum taking him over. That was more on Kaz.
It's kind of one of them both because Enzo's foot almost got caught. I'm just saying he's not sharp. That's all I'm saying. He's not very sharp, and I know he's still kind of green, big stages and all that. I'm not coming at the guy. I'm just saying I'd like to see a little more polish. That's my only gripe with Enzo.
Yeah. See, I try not to nitpick on the botches too much, just because if you watch anybody.
Yeah,
you're going to see
have a few mistakes. I understand.
I see what you're getting at too. If it happens a lot, it becomes a trend, and they're really safe. And this leads into what I want to talk about with Seth Rollins. There's been a lot of people questioning Seth Rollins' wrestling, if he's a safe enough worker. Bret Hart had something to say about it. He thinks that he needs to really change it up before he kills somebody, which I thought was a little strong.
You all know that I'm a huge Seth Rollins fan. I'm wearing a Seth Rollins shirt right now, okay? But this is the third person that he's injured recently in large matches, okay? He hurt Sting. He broke John Cena's nose. Yeah. And now he's hurt Finn
Balor. The John Cena thing more so was something that could have happened to anybody. It was
but his resume doesn't look good.
In the grand scheme of things, this guy's injuring big guys, top guys. Okay, this isn't like he's just hurting some jobbers and shit. He's injuring top guys.
I just wonder what it is, because the thing with Finn Balor and with Sting was it was both on that power bomb into the turnbuckle / the barricade. I wonder what it is about the way he does it that's hurting people, as opposed to a Michael Elgin that's a prominent part of his repertoire. I never hear anybody getting seriously injured.
And it's not like Seth's the only person hurting guys out there. I mean, look at Samoa Joe.
Bret Hart when he said the thing about Seth Rollins having to change, he also mentioned about Joe hurting Tyson and how we can still continue to use.
Look at AJ Styles for Christ's sake, snapping necks and cashing checks.
Here's the thing: I understand that you don't want to hurt people and you want to work as safe as possible, but this is professional wrestling. Yes. There are risks involved.
Absolutely.
And everybody knows that going in that this could be their last match going in. Yeah. They could get seriously hurt. I mean, not saying that to excuse shoddy work and just working completely dangerous out there, but I feel and maybe it's because I'm not a trained wrestler and I don't maybe understand it as well, but I almost feel like these are just unfortunate circumstances, but not necessarily indicative of Seth being an unsafe worker.
I don't think Seth's an unsafe worker. I think that maybe they should just sit down and talk to him. Maybe
I'm sure they have already.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, but I mean, big ups to Finn for putting his shoulder back in and wrestling the rest of that.
Round of applause for Finn.
Wrestling the rest of that match.
That's some real man shit right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fuck William Regal. That's
because if you notice, he got hurt.
That was a man's man.
He got hurt fairly early because his makeup was still kind of intact. Yeah, and you could tell it was fairly early in the match.
My man still hits a 1916 and everything, and that's ballsy.
Yeah. Gotta finish through, man. Gotta play your heart.
Guy's got some grit, man.
Yeah. Gotta play
it's just a shame that now we're gonna lose him for 6 months.
That sucks. We won't see him probably till the Rumble, right?
in a round, maybe even a little later.
Wow. Yeah.
But this is another thing I wanted to talk about too. Is just the rash of injuries, especially to these indie guys that have come in, and they're all shoulder injuries.
You think
too.
it's like a correlation?
It seems like it could be like Hideo Itami, Sami Zayn, Finn Balor, all guys from the indies or from other feds.
Yeah.
All come in, and within a year and a half of being there, they all have relatively the same injury. I believe they all had torn labrums. I believe that was all.
Cesaro.
Does Cesaro have a torn labrum too?
I don't know if he had a torn labrum, but he had a shoulder.
Yeah,
He had a shoulder
problem. But I mean, all shouldered. I wonder if it's related because I know that the guys in WWE work a lot more than they do in TNA or in the Indies or anywhere else.
And if it is related, where do you think the problem stems from? Do you think it's not enough training at the bottom, or do you think it's not enough oversight at the top?
I don't know, and just if there was going to be a constant injury that would plague people, the shoulder seems like a weird one. You would think it'd be more like a back or a neck or a concussion issue.
Maybe.
Yeah. Or even a leg thing because you're on your feet and you're moving
But I mean, you figure taking bumps and stuff, your shoulders take a lot of punishment too, and also, I mean, all the lifting and everything.
I mean,
shoulders take a lot
with the coup de grace, you kind of would imagine that Finn would have knee problems.
Yeah. Or ankle problems.
Ankle problems. This is the complete opposite of his shoulder, but
because you're not seeing these injuries happen to guys like The Miz. You're not seeing these injuries happen to guys like Sheamus, guys that have been with the WWE for a long time. You're seeing it happen to recently with these indie guys.
Because they work. They're The Miz is a safe. I mean, we were just watching the Talking Smack segment.
He's got a soft style.
Yeah. He's got a soft style for a reason.
As Daniel Bryan would say.
Yeah, he's got a soft style, and his reasoning for it is pretty much so he doesn't get hurt. But all these indie guys, they come from a background where you have to bust your ass to get over.
Yeah, because you never know who's watching you, when they're watching. You gotta go out every night.
Everyone paid money. Everyone paid money to be there. Everyone's gonna want to see your best. So
I feel like there could be a case made. It would be probably incorrect. There could be a case made these indie guys are coming in here and they're not safe and blah blah blah. This could open the door for biased conversations like that.
Yeah.
These guys need more training, or
but it's not
too rough.
It's not like these guys were they learned themselves by watching TV and then just jumped on indies.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys went to legit wrestling schools, learned from legit veterans. So it's not. I don't know if it's necessarily lack of training. Maybe it's also the fact that they've established themselves in the indies and they've forgotten some of the stuff they've learned.
I could see bad press coming from this kind of stuff, though.
You could, if you put it together, you have the way these guys work. They work hard, they work fast, and they work with a certain style that puts them at risk almost all the time. Now, you take that, you see their work in PWG, then you see them go to ROH or whatever the case might be. Imagine that being multiplied by the schedule that WWE has.
Yeah, like I said before, where they're working 5, 6, and times 7 nights in a week.
That style of work could wear on you.
Yeah.
So,
because I remember Kevin Owens saying this in an interview with Sam Roberts, talking about working in NXT, he knew that when he was on the indies and ROH, he was only working twice a week, so he could afford to go out and do crazier stuff. Yeah. But now that he's working 5, 6 days a week,
every night,
you can't be that insane. And part of me almost wants as if this is sadly the repercussions of trying to give it to the fans that they want a better wrestling style. And it's just, if that's the case, it just sucks that you have to sacrifice exciting, great, fast-paced in-ring action for having. You have to sacrifice that to make sure these guys can work all the time.
The only way you're gonna get that is if you minus the dates.
That's how.
But they'll never do that. They don't want to lose out on the revenue. It's money.
You're always going to have to sacrifice some of the action for safety. I mean, look at the NFL. There's always going to be some give there.
Yeah.
When it comes to highly physical, sports and/or sports entertainment.
Yeah. It just sucks because WWE has been getting. It's been getting pretty good. It's been really...
Especially with this influx of new talent.
Yeah, it's been getting... with that and NXT, it's been really fun to watch. It's been really... I've dropped WWE for a while. It's really fun to get back into it and really immerse myself in the product again. It's been a good time. I don't want to see it lose its edge. I don't want to see it go back to what it was a few... in the late aughts.
It's just finally starting to turn away from that, which is nice.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't like I said about the whole Rollins thing. I don't necessarily think it's that he's an unsafe worker. I just think it's more so just unfortunate. Unfortunate circumstances. Yeah.
By the way, while we're talking about Rollins, I'd just like to say that it was nice to see some shades of Tyler in that match when he hit the God's last gift. It was nice to see that.
Yeah.
I was happy about that.
Yeah, and I feel like they're in general WWE's doing a better job of referencing things from the past. These past wrestlers that aren't necessarily WWE/NXT/FCW related.
Like the first time Kev teased the package, you know, like everybody marked it because it's like, oh shit, he's gonna do it.
Yeah, that's fun, and it's nice to see that WWE is embracing the entire industry and like not forgetting these people's histories, and it's it's like a whole new world out there now, guys.
When you've got an entire...
It made my indie heart happy to see that. I was like, oh shit, Tyler!
When you've got an entire wave of indie guys coming in, you got to explain how they got there somehow. So.
Yeah. But, how do we feel about the tournament to decide the number one contender for the Universal title?
I'm glad Jericho's not in it. Well, I'm glad
you're glad because you don't like Jericho. I'm glad because I don't want to see Jericho and Owens get split up because they're phenomenal.
They're great. I'm gonna pull for Kev. I know it's not gonna happen.
I'm pulling for Kev too, honestly.
Yeah,
I've been pulling for Kev since Kev got here.
Yeah,
we're all pretty big Kevin Owens Kevin Owens marks. I think we all want to see it, but we all know that the strap's going on Seth Rollins.
Do you think?
I don't think so.
Do you think that with this whole like Finn injury, do you think that might play a factor in whether or not they're going to put the strap on him?
I think it only makes sense to put it on him because then you have Finn Balor come back and take it off of him
in 6 months. A lot can happen in 6 months. I'm just saying.
Two scenarios. You could either have Seth. You could have Seth kind of get pushed off, keep getting pushed off, because he's always going to be in the hunt. You could always keep him in the hunt because he's always going to want the belt back. So you could keep drawing it out.
And Seth is long term their top heel that they're going to go with.
So you could either. I see it two ways. You could either let Seth win the Rumble, and then let him finally get his day, or put the strap on Seth and let Balor win the Rumble. Because either way, he's coming back around the time, so he might.
If it's a 6 month time frame, it's the end of August, so Rumble's only 5 months away. So
if he pulls a John Cena, he'll be back before you know it.
I feel
let's hope, but
I feel like putting the strap on Kev would also be more in line with the whole new era thing they've got going on.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't think that would be a bad way to go either. I just feel like. Seth is
clearly the safer.
There's a lot of reasons that it would make sense to put it on Seth, and Seth is
clearly the safer champ.
Yeah,
but I think they're gonna. I think they're gonna squeeze this out a little more.
And sad to say, I kind of hate saying it, but I feel like Kevin Owens will be a top heel, but I think he'll always be like that second guy. I don't think that he'll.
Probably. He's so good.
He'll have his day in the sun, and I'm sure but when it's all said and done, barring any like freak injury that puts him like ends his career, I think Owens will have multiple title reigns, and he'll be a feature guy for different times, different portions of his run. But I think that Seth will always be that number one heel.
Well, we all know Roman's not getting it, so.
You know what?
Not after that bullshit that happened at SummerSlam. No, he's not, because I love Roman Reigns, but that fucking shit was garbage. And
that's not his fault. That's
not his fault. But he's gonna end up. Him and Rusev still have to do shit.
Yeah,
I mean, they're not gonna stop.
I mean, I don't think that Roman's gonna get. I don't. It would make no sense to put the strap on Roman now. But I mean, like, I think a lot of us are starting to come around to this new Roman Reigns, this newfangled Roman.
As long as he's not in the title picture, Roman's fine.
This new Roman only exists in the mid card. This Roman does not exist in the main event.
The moment he becomes a top guy again,
it's over.
It's over.
I just like him because it seems like he doesn't give any fucks anymore.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
He doesn't need to.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it could. I think it might work in the title picture. I'm not saying do it now.
No,
not at all.
No, not when you've got Seth and Owens in there. No, don't.
Give him time to cool off
and Big Case. and Vince loves Big Cass, so I'm sure that he would be like the next big guy he wants to push over Roman anyways. But
can you imagine if Big Cass got it?
That would be fucking crazy. That'd be insane.
I've heard a lot of talk about Vince really like him. I never thought that Cass would be like that guy. But you know what?
I never thought that either.
They're pretty over, and you could make a legitimate case for why they would do it. I don't think they would, but you could make a legitimate case for why they would.
Cass started out as just being like the big guy behind Enzo.
Yeah,
you know?
he was the heater for Enzo. Yeah.
And now look at him.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It's cool that he's even in the match at all.
Every time I think of Cass, I know you guys weren't watching NXT at this point, like back when NXT was like the best NXT. But like when Cass, or not Cass, when Enzo was hurt the first time, like not long after they debuted, like I always think of Cass like having singing battles with Aiden English and shit. It was great. Good shit. If you ever get a chance, watch 2013, most of 2014 NXT. It was good stuff. Really good stuff. But
anyone but if Enzo, and I hope Enzo's never in the title picture. Fuck.
Yeah,
God Almighty, please.
I don't think Enzo will ever be a top guy like that. Not like the top guy as the Revival.
He'll always be featured though.
Yeah,
he'll always be featured.
He'll always be cut in the same promo.
He's getting the pop.
Fun.
Man. It gets the pop.
It is one of the most over things right now. It's fun. Oh, get over yourself.
Yeah.
But
fuck that.
But yeah, so. Talk about the number one contender for the Universal title.
Want to talk about the belt and how fucking ugly it is?
Talk about all the new belts and how fucking ugly all of them are.
I get it. Okay, it's Raw belts and SmackDown belts. Why do they have to be red and blue and all that?
I understand they want to have some like continuity with it, like so it's like they're putting the brands on an equal footing, so that the belts look the same. But like. God. Both the red and the blue leather don't look. The blue leather looks a little better.
Yeah,
but
the red leather it looks like the Legends title that Booker T had and back when TNA.
We must have been talking over when we were watching the match because I didn't catch it as much. But apparently, like the fans were shitting on like the entire match.
They were.
I didn't notice it as much. And like Mick Foley, Seth Rollins, all like addressed like in like social media about how they were very upset with the crowd.
They were.
And if I would have noticed it, I don't know how I missed it.
You guys were too busy shouting at each other about baseball.
Probably.
Yeah.
But
I didn't really notice the belt. I mean, when I bring it up now, but when it first happened, I was like, oh, it's really, really red. But it didn't really live in my mind that far. Like, because I was more worried about the match itself. But the fact that Seth and Finn had to get pretty much the ass end of that title.
Because I mean,
chance was
that's
ridiculous.
one of the times when I agree that like crowd like sometimes the crowd can go a little too far because
this crowd was not as good.
Seth Finn is a dream match. That's a match that everybody should want to see.
Agreed.
And that match is going to perform 1,000 out of 1,000 times. It's going to perform at least pretty good, if not, and most of the time be the best match on the card or any card of that week.
Yeah.
So it's a shame that gets brought down by that, and it's also a shame that gets brought down by the Finn injury too. But it didn't really show in the match.
No, not at all. They did a really good job playing it off.
I wouldn't have even thought about it until they said anything. But yeah, it's a shame that like sometimes that part of the crowd interaction can kind of put a damper on stuff.
And I think Seth actually referred to it. I think he went on Twitter and said something
Seth did. Mick Foley did.
They let him down.
They called it out on the show. They called it out on both shows, I believe.
Yeah. That crowd was. There's been a lot of good crowds, but that crowd was especially smarky. Like there's good crowds that pop at the right times and know when to cheer and pop. This crowd was just like the biggest hipster audience that you've ever like.
Well, they were in Brooklyn. So.
Oh my god! Like these guys
went back to their lofts afterwards.
Yeah.
You know?
These guys were so busy booing the fucking title that they just didn't. And I mean, I could see it from two different ways. Like I just said, I was like, it's really red. That sucks. Well, whatever. And then there's, oh man, we're gonna fucking boycott this match because the belt looks like shit. It's the same belt. All the belts are the same because everything's trying to be equal. Everything needs to be equality. It's all about equality and equality. I said equality. In 2016, that sounds really stupid. But, like, you know, all the belts are the same. So, what do you expect? I mean, I don't know.
At least the SmackDown tag belts don't look quite like pennies.
I like the penny belt. I'm the only guy on the planet that might like it, but basically...
I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. I just wish they would have went with different designs.
Oh my god, they got lazy.
Yeah.
Very lazy.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't even try.
They just used the same template.
Oh, man. They repackaged it. That's all they did. They repackaged it much like the Shining Stars. Okay.
I know we kind of glossed over this a little earlier, but the Bayley debut on Raw... It's time. it was time to get her there.
Not only is it time, but it also fills a need.
Yeah, and it just perfect timing. Sasha hurt. She's gonna miss like a month time healing up her injuries, which I read she doesn't need surgery, so it hopefully won't be too long. Apparently, it was a back issue. But
that'll make for a great match when she comes back.
Yeah.
You know, like her and Bayley.
And Bayley's super over. And I remember reading an article roughly a year and a half ago that was talking about NXT that wouldn't necessarily transition very well. And two of the ones on that article were Bayley and Enzo and Cass.
I think I saw that article.
I'm sure I talked to you guys about it.
Yeah.
And at the time, I agreed with it. That made a lot of sense because you see it happen all the time. There's stuff, especially from that era of NXT I was talking about, that was really over in NXT, but didn't necessarily get over like your Vaudevillains, like your Ascension, like your Tyler Breeze. But you know what? I'm glad to say. So I mean, it's only one show in, but it seems like we're going to be pretty wrong about that.
That's the thing about Bayley's gimmick is it's not really a gimmick. It's just like like just fresh face kind of innocence, you know. And
she can never be a heel.
No,
ever.
absolutely not.
And like, to be honest, it's hard not to like her. And anybody who doesn't like Bayley, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
Bayley is, and I hate to use this for about a wrestler, but Bayley's fucking adorable.
She's got that real girl next door kind of thing going on.
She is essentially,
and she's really good.
She is really good.
She's essentially the Hulk Hogan of the women's division.
Yep.
Like she's
gonna start preaching to the crowd to say their prayers.
She's just happy all the time. There's just nothing you can. I mean, maybe later on down the line she'll form the NWO. I don't know, but
but for now, she's a really good role model and she's super over.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's nothing to really dislike about her.
And it's nice because it fits in with the PG vibe, but it's not cheesy either. And she's good in the ring, and she tells a good story. And she
could be very serious when it counts. Too, so she's not too gimmicky. For her own gimmick, so
it's nice to see that she can kind of play to everybody. She's very strong in every aspect of wrestling and sports entertainment.
And the wacky waving inflatable tube, of course, are over as well.
Absolutely.
I definitely want to touch on that, but let's get to the finish of SummerSlam. How did we feel about Lesnar Orton?
Oh man. Do we have another 50 minutes to work with?
This is a podcast. This is free form. We've got as much time as we can record for.
Oh man. This is.
I kind of expected more out of Randy. Like when
Me too. I felt like it was a little one-sided. There wasn't much to it outside of Orton getting the fuck beat out of him.
Yeah, the way they built it, I expected Randy to put up more. Just put up more, I guess. More of a fight.
I think the match itself is not worth talking about, just because there wasn't too much substance.
I really just want to talk about the finish and the stuff that happened with Lesnar and Jericho backstage.
That's what I wanted to get to. I wanted to because Anthony brought up to me that there was an incident with Chris Jericho in the back, and it kind of sparks two different discussions. You could see it as Chris Jericho defending the boys, which is probably what he was doing.
I mean, I don't know Chris Jericho well, but anytime I've ever heard him talk about wrestling, like on his podcast and stuff, I feel like he's one of those guys. Like he's for the boys, and that's what I get.
It takes.
That's what I get.
He went back to Gorilla. He saw just to check on Randy. He saw what was going on. He's like, "This is bullshit."
And I don't think that anybody knew the finish besides
Orton and
Lesnar, maybe Vince and the refs.
Yeah,
the ref, I should say, not the refs.
Yeah.
So I think it was reasonable to assume, or reasonable for Jericho to assume that might have just been a shoot, or just might have been Lesnar being unsafe. Because I mean, you don't see blood in the WWE unless it's by accident.
Yeah.
And to see the amount of blood and how forceful those elbows were, and how he just kept going,
it definitely looked like it was on purpose.
Yeah.
And Lesnar was just being an asshole, you know?
But apparently that was supposed to be the finish. He was supposed to lose by TKO. I don't think there was supposed to be that much blood.
No, definitely not.
Randy was okay with it, though.
Yeah.
Randy wanted it to go down. And, all right, Chris Jericho was trying to defend the boys. But I think that the other side of it is that Lesnar is trying to put some credibility into WWE. There needs to be some sort of holy shit what just happened, because they're up against UFC, they're up against MMA, which is the most unpredictable shit. I mean,
I wouldn't say that they directly compete with. Like,
no. But there's
actual combat sports.
But wrestling.
But he's trying. I think that Lesnar's trying to bring that fan base from UFC over.
Maybe feel legitimate. A little bit. All right.
Wrestling has always been, especially pro wrestling, has always been formulaic. It's always had a stigma of it's fine. This was decided in the back. Who cares? And then someone comes along and says, "Fuck that. We're gonna put this. We're gonna do some really raunchy shit, and everyone's gonna have an opinion about it." Because if the match went, if it was a wrestling match, we would say, "Oh, what do we think about Lesnar? He's an all right wrestler." Hey, and Orton did too. But I'm just really mad that, Lesnar won the match. Or we could be sitting here talking about how he fucking completely gashed them wide open, and holy fuck, what happened? So would you rather be shocked, or would you rather just talk about a wrestling match? It's the shock value. It's the shock value.
Totally the shock factor.
It's the fact that Lesnar and I see, like I said, I understand where Chris Jericho defending the boys, coming to but there's also a thing where if you don't tell nobody, it can't get out there. Because we live in a day and age where everything is getting leaked.
The internet ruins everything.
Yeah, and I feel like stuff like that, like with the whole Undertaker thing, how the only people that knew about the Undertaker finish was Undertaker, Lesnar, Heyman,
it was decided
Vince,
that day.
Yeah, and I don't even think Triple H and Steph knew about it. I only think it was Vince, Lesnar, Orton, Heyman, and the rep. I think they're the only ones that knew the finish. Because you don't want to leak stuff that big.
No, definitely not.
And wrestling definitely needs an injection of shock.
Yeah,
because we're spoiled, especially Anthony. Anthony won't admit it, but he's that guy. And he's always looking at fucking spoilers, and he's always on the dirt sheets, and he's always on the fucking.
And here's the thing: like, I'm not even actively looking for it. I just follow a lot of pages on Facebook, and then it's all of a sudden this spoiler comes up. This spoiler comes up.
It's never happened.
Or you see like a tease, and it's like, fuck, I gotta read it now.
2001, everything was real.
But you know what? As much crap as I've talked on Jericho, I respect him for.
You gotta respect what he did. There's a lot
because at the end of the day, it's still Brock Lesnar. He still got in his face and was like, "Fuck that! Like this, that's not okay."
Anybody, especially when you didn't know that was a finish. And I mean, he maybe overreacted for it and everything, but he's stepping up for the boys, and apparently like he got a lot of praise for it backstage. You should. You got to respect that. Like Jericho's a respected veteran.
He got in Brock Lesnar's face and wanted to fight him.
Yeah, and I mean,
his boy.
Jericho's, especially compared to Lesnar, he's a very small guy. So
that's still Brock Lesnar.
to step up to him like that and to be like that and not back down. And my favorite line in the whole thing reading this is Lesnar's like, "Yeah, you better punch me or kiss me."
Yeah, that was awesome. Right before Triple H broke him up, and then Vince had to break him up again.
There's a lot of things that boil a man's blood, but I think protecting the business for wrestlers is the equivalent of watching your girlfriend getting beat up. Like it will fucking get you so angry because that's your money, that's your company, and that's your business.
Yeah, and it's nice to see things that are like born of passion for the industry,
especially for a guy like Jericho who put so much into that. You know,
he comes back. I mean, Nick always shit talks him, but he comes back. He does the job. Goes about his day. Comes back again the next year. Jericho always. No one ever praises him. Everyone when The Rock came back, it was like, oh, he's going to be here forever, right? Well, we haven't seen The Rock all year long.
Yeah.
Have we seen him at all? WrestleMania? No. Was he at WrestleMania? He was at Mania?
Yeah,
okay, he was at Mania. Jericho been doing dates?
My thing with Jericho,
house shows.
My thing with Jericho, he's been around lately, but I mean, since like 2007, the first time he came back, like it's been on and off, and he's just like in and out.
But he's a consistent guy.
I think that's my main gripe with him. I have nothing against him as a person or him as a wrestler or worker, but
at least when Jericho does it, for the most part, he's not doing like one shots. He'll like hang around for a little bit.
He's not doing one shots anymore. I mean,
he's not a part timer. You can't consider him a part timer.
Let's not forget what happened when those Fozzy album sales dropped. Like, my man was in for a pay per view and he was out, son.
I mean, and like he's also helping bring older fans because people are like, oh, Jericho's back.
That Stacker 2 money slowed up.
But he's not going out there and like winning the belt and hoarding the time from other people. Like, he might be involved in like some of the main events and getting involved with main event people, but he's not necessarily. Like, he's more so doing it to enhance the guys around him. He'll look bad for other people.
Yeah.
And, like, he can't, like, I know you're upset that he wins some matches maybe he shouldn't, but he can't lose every match. He's still got to look legitimate.
I know. He's still got to keep his clout up. I understand that. It just bothers me when he goes over younger guys and stuff.
My gripe with this match, I appreciate I respect what Lesnar did because he's trying to bring some sort of some sort of credibility. I understand what Jericho did because he's trying to protect the boys, and Randy was in on it. And a lot of people were denying it. Everyone's like, "Oh, he didn't." No one in the world would let that happen. A wrestler would never let some asshole completely gash him wide open without fighting back.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care who you like. If you get gashed open, you're not gonna lie there and kind of let it bleed out. Like, Orton would have got up and probably started fighting him back because Orton's not a small guy, and I don't think he's gonna lie there and take that shit.
Taking the bump, you know.
He took the bump and he sold it. The fact that he was selling it means he was in on it.
Yeah.
He's not gonna just sit there and let the blood ring out and just go, "Well, this sucks ass." He would have got up and said, "Look, motherfucker, what are you doing?" Even with a face full of blood, these guys are tough. Like, they're not like. They're on the road all the time. They know what this is like. So basically,
I would never question a wrestler's toughness.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So like the fact that everyone was saying that Orton wasn't in on it is kind of weird.
Yeah.
But I think my only gripe with this is that it made Randy look really weak. The hype.
Yeah.
Here's Lesnar. Here's Orton. Way down
think
here.
you could have done
Tried
that
to make them look equal.
I think you could have done that same finish, but I think you could have. You would have had to let Orton do a little more.
If Orton at least got him some color, it might have looked a little better
or
for
at
him.
least hit the RKO in the ring, you know?
Yeah.
But I wanted to talk about this because you mentioned about blood being in wrestling. How do you feel about blood in wrestling?
If used sparingly in scenarios that it's required, it's good. But if you're,
I don't really see the use for it.
Tells a better story.
It adds intensity to the match. You know, it's not something you want to throw around every week or anything, obviously, but it can definitely add.
I mean, I don't hate it.
I feel like it adds more than it subtracts.
I think more as I've gotten older and I understand more about the wrestlers' issues and stuff like that. I feel you don't want to see guys get hurt and stuff like that happen as much, so kind of want to look away and not see it as much. But I mean, I guess you're right. It does enhance stuff, but I feel like for me, wrestling, and this comes from me, who I'm a guy who likes like that British World of Sports style, like that Zack Sabre Jr., Kyle O'Reilly, more technical style, where you wouldn't necessarily see blood in those kind of matches. So for me, I think wrestling can work fine without it.
I came up with guys wearing the crimson mask. You know, like your Shawn Michaels and your Ric Flair and all that.
Let's not forget, there was a shirt that was put out with Stone Cold Steve Austin's face completely busted wide open because Bret Hart had him in a sharpshooter, and he got over it for bleeding.
And all right, and I guess I got to walk my statement back too because we're talking about shirts with blood on it. One of my favorite matches of all time is the Young Bucks versus Candice LeRae and Joey Ryan. The Young Bucks. The Young Bucks
with the crimson mask.
Cams with the crimson mask and her shirt, and that was for me one of the greatest matches I've ever seen.
And she instantly became the toughest woman in the world at that point. You know, so I mean, a little blood goes a long way.
Yeah,
she took the bump.
Yeah,
the boys respected her.
Yep.
Blood. All right, now for the Zack Sabre British style of wrestling, blood doesn't work because it's all about the work.
It's all about the technique.
It's the technique.
And personally, that is my favorite style. That's what I love about wrestling.
That's fine.
Jack Gallagher shit.
Blood
is fantastic.
Yeah.
Blood, like Nick said, blood enhances it adds more than it subtracts in storytelling.
Definitely heightens
storytelling.
Heightens the drama.
It's a very, and not only that, but I'm sorry, but if two guys are in a heated rivalry for months and months and months, and they're in the last fight that they're gonna have is in a Hell in a Cell, you're expecting blood. You're expecting a massacre. This needs to be a blow off.
Yeah.
How do you blow things off? They beat the shit out of each other. There's really no other way to go
Hell in
about
a
it.
Cell's, Last Man Standings, like all those real high drama, high stakes kind of matches, it's almost expected, you know?
Yeah.
I guess if you have those matches, it maybe should be a part. Me personally, I don't really necessarily care for those matches, so it doesn't. For me, I don't.
When I was a kid watching the blow-off matches, Hell in a Cell back in the day meant someone was going to die, okay? This isn't going to be a wrestling match with a cage.
Yeah.
You just happen to be in a cage.
For the most part, recently.
They've been watered the fuck down. Hell in a Cell, when you heard the words Hell in a Cell,
I remember,
you thought someone was going to die, okay? This was death.
Was literally going to hell.
Yes. So,
and you know, especially if they're going to try to compete with like the UFC and stuff like that, like in your bigger events, you almost need that that factor, just the
intensity.
Of intensity. Yeah, you have to match that intensity exactly.
Yeah. And wrestling can be done without blood. It is possible. But if you want to compete with fucking UFC, you have to throw a couple of wrenches.
Yeah,
you have to.
It also helps break the suspension of disbelief if guys are taking chair shots and not bleeding.
Randy deserves a lot of credit for letting Lesnar beat the fuck out of him.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's another one.
Because he's taking the bumps. He's going, no, go for it.
This guy's getting elbowed in the face and he's bleeding all over the place.
Yeah.
I mean, I respect him. I respect him for what he did, and it made for some intense television and some drama. But it also, in the same aspect, it was kind of dumb.
Dumb because of the hype.
Especially now, knowing what we know with injuries and head injuries and stuff like that, and athletes, but
gotta live up to the hype somehow. I mean, the match itself didn't live up to the hype.
This is 15 years in the making. It's the same thing. It's the same way they built the whole Cena AJ thing. This is like the match that should have happened a long time ago and never did. So I mean, the hype was real.
Yeah.
It didn't live up to it, boy.
Didn't live up to the hype.
They built the shit out of that match, though.
They tried, but the suspense.
It was a shame it was the main event too.
Yeah.
And so that was that was the last thing we saw.
The fact that it was, and I have don't want to go on about this too long and go off the rails here, but the fact that the world title is not the main event pisses me off. Literally every
the whole card was in a weird order.
Yeah. The world title was first. The Ziggler and Ziggler and Ambrose were first, or second on the card or something like that.
That's how it was before.
What were they? Wait a minute, no.
Enzo came out first, right?
But it was the women's match.
It was earlier on the card. It was earlier on the card is what you're getting.
There were two title matches in the first 4 matches on the card.
Yeah. The women's one was the one that we said, why is this so early on the card? I'm sorry. Yeah. So,
but I mean, it was the SmackDown title would go open shows before. So I mean,
that's what I don't like about.
But now that we'll be having these SmackDown pay-per-views, that won't happen as much. So,
the 6-woman tag match came after Dean and Dolph, which it's what?
Well, you have to have a cool down.
Yeah, okay.
That's
what they're going with.
That's a piss break.
Yeah.
That's essentially a piss break.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So I mean, but it's the world title not main eventing. Bothers me.
I think at least the Universal title should have main evented the show because that's a main event quality matchup.
Blurs the line.
But Lesnar's a big draw. I get where they're going with that. It's just the finish. It didn't live up to the main. It was a shame. It was the last thing we saw.
Yeah.
But what do you do? But last thing I wanted to get into, as we're running a little long on time. Last thing I wanted to get into was that Miz promo on Talking Smack.
Oh man,
yeah,
dude.
I feel like that was a lot of aggression.
Shoot or not? Shoot or not?
Half shoot. Because I'm not going to go on a limb and say they won't put things on TV that no one allows.
I think it started.
I feel like they're starting to blur the line. And if you watch, I only watched that episode of Talking Smack, but I feel like there's a lot more shoot elements to it. Yeah. And I feel like they're trying to work a lot more of that stuff.
And
it's like with Cesaro and his thing after his draft.
Yeah, too.
That was shoot as hell.
I feel like now we're gonna like you just said, they're gonna try to blur the line between what's going to be scripted and what everyone collectively thinks versus what two guys are going. Here's what we're going to do, and no one's going to be in on it because WWE has been plagued by leaks and people talking about what they're going to do.
And even not even leaks. So they're starting to admit that happens, but just the fans are smart and they know it's coming and they know a lot about these guys because of social media and how everybody's information is out there. So. It's good, blur the lines, what's scripted, what's real. You don't know what to expect on the show, and it's especially for SmackDown, who I feel lacks in talent. It's nice to have that added element into that too. But that felt very real, and it was very nice to see.
Very emotional.
I wonder if D-Bry, real life, just took his ball and went home. Was just all right, you know what? I'm done with this show. Just walked off.
And I think what WWE is trying to do away with, and I hope they kind of do away with, and a lot of people have said they need to do away with, is the canned promos. Canned promos even will never ever do any good for the body.
When your established talent from the past is saying that, guys like Austin are saying that, it's something they have to reevaluate.
Because if you don't feel it, what's the point of saying it? If you gave me a script right now, I can only say it as best as I can do it.
And it's that's something that plagued a guy like Roman Reigns. Like,
True.
where he was canned promo after canned promo. Like, you can't, like, you can tell he doesn't believe what he's saying, and you can tell he doesn't believe that.
And it's a shame that, I mean, not a shame, but it would be, wrestling would be...
Dude, it's a shameful thing.
Lobster head. the wrestling would be a much more interesting product promo-wise if guys could just say whatever they fucking wanted to. If they could
the more real it is, the better.
If they could curse as much as they wanted to, I know it's PG. That's why I said
not even PG. It's on cable television.
It's on
you can only get away with so much.
But wrestling would be so much better if guys could cut.
The more real you can make it, the better
to.
it is for everybody involved, I think.
As organic as you can make it. If you can make
disbelief.
Yeah, it's a big thing, especially when the cat's out of the bag. Everyone knows Sand isn't real.
Yeah.
Everyone's seen how the sausage is made.
We've all seen the man behind the curtain thanks to the internet. So anything we can do to add a level of realism would definitely be welcome.
I'll still never forgive Rikishi for running over Stone Cold Steve Austin at Survivor Series 1999.
He is a bad man. But I don't know about you guys, but I am kind of excited about The Miz now. I'm
not sold on him as a wrestler, but as a talker, maybe.
As a talker, as a heel, as a bad guy storyteller, which is part of what wrestling is.
As a character, for sure.
Yeah, it makes me. Now, I'm not saying The Miz is. I love The Miz. He's my new favorite wrestler, but it makes me more invested. Like to hear that promo, to feel like
just to know how he feels now.
Yeah. You can feel the emotion coming through the screen from him. It was really...
I just got a vision of him not doing the Maurice thing. Him and Maurice walking out, like, minus carpet, minus theatrics, and just walking very serious face to the ring, no bullshit, throwing the belt on the ground, and going, whoever the fuck comes out here, I'm gonna rip your fucking neck off.
I wonder if it'll lead to a little bit of a shift in his character.
That would be cool. If he was a little more serious, stopped doing the whole movie star thing and just wrestled.
I'm more interested in... This is the most I've ever been interested in The Miz. And, well, besides the news with Sandow, but that was because of Damian Sandow.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And props to Miz for I don't know if it's the actual wrestler or the company that let them do it, but the belt was so worn down. It looks like that belt has been around for a while.
Yeah. It's
I don't know if I know Ambrose like Ambrose got a new belt, so that's why
it's probably the oldest belt they have. Well, besides the U.S. title,
the leather looked very worn down.
It did, yeah.
I popped very small for
there's a lot of flex to it,
Yeah. Those belts were all.
But yeah, guys, I mean, I know we glossed over some stuff, but those were the major events in a very, very eventful weekend for the WWF, the WWE.
WWF. You can still say the WWF, whatever.
Yeah, for the World Wildlife Foundation. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to what's to come, and we're gonna be getting more pay-per-views. We're gonna getting 7 SmackDown pay-per-views, which I'm trying to do the math on that. That would mean that there would be 5, I guess, dual pay-per-views, which I would assume the big 4. What would be the other one? Maybe Money in the Bank. So you have 2 Money in the Banks, maybe.
I know the core 4 they're gonna keep.
Well, obviously, yeah.
So now they're doing the 2-a-month format, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
I thought it was no, because we got Backlash and then there's Night of Champions.
Yeah, Clash of Champions now.
Backlash is in 2 weeks, right?
Yeah. Clash of the Champions.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Really?
Yeah.
Clash of the Champions?
Yeah, I changed it.
Holy fuck. We're going old school.
Yeah.
I can't wait for Bash of the Beach to come back. Sold out.
That might be a new SmackDown pay-per-view. But I think that wraps everything up for this week. We'll be back at you roughly around the same time next week to talk about next week's Raw and SmackDown and maybe some NXT and CWC talk. For Jose and Nick, I'm Anthony. Have a good night.
See ya.